Hey guys, how you doing? Let a few more people come in. See my wife's joined. Hi Gina. I'm just gonna get started now. I recently just saw Dumbo, and despite some of what the critics have said, a lot of critics have said they didn't like the movie Dumbo, mostly because it didn't follow the original story from the animated Dumbo, which it didn't. And I kind of like it. Excuse me. So, hey Elaine. Hi Chris. Just to get back started, I am doing a Dumbo review based on only on my opinions on how the movie was. When you go to Rotten Tomatoes or you go to any other IMDb site, they didn't like it very much. It got like a 60% Rotten Tomatoes. I don't agree with it completely. Now, it didn't stick to the original story of the animated version, but that's okay. Tim Burton did a superb job to me. Whoever did the casting for these actors with Eva Green and Colin Farrell and Nikhil Parker and Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton played an awesome job. They even had Michael Buffer, the guy that goes, "Let's get ready to rumble." Instead, he said, "Let's get ready to Dumbo." It was awesome. But the storyline was awesome, and mostly, without giving too many spoilers, of course, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give out too much about it, but it was mostly focused on the two kids' relationship with Dumbo. So I'll say that. It had a very awesome ending. The thing I liked about it is that they didn't overdo the CGI. I think Dumbo looked like a real elephant. Of course, he had the big ears, but he had the big blue eyes. He was cute. He was awesome looking. The other thing I actually did like, because I thought it would be possibly, and this is just my opinion, it would be corny to have the animals talk. And so this one, they didn't have any of there was no crows that were talking. There were none of the elephants that were talking, like the adult elephants were not talking that much. I mean, weren't talking at all. So really, it was just the humans that were actually talking. So they didn't make it all corny. Let's see, Regina, what was some of the things you were surprised to see in this rendition? Mostly Michael Keaton's character. He played Mr. Vandermeer. That's what surprised me the much. I think it was so cool. He played, I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but he played the typical rich guy who wanted to get rich off of Dumbo. And he was basically the antagonist. He was the evil guy in the film. So he played an awesome part. Colin Farrell played, without giving too much again, played a war hero, came back. His kids were already part of the circus, and they were the ones who discovered Dumbo. My favorite part, Gina, I'm glad you're asking these questions. It actually brought tears to my eyes because that's another thing that was good with this movie was the score of music. So the score of music they put around when Dumbo first started flying, when he noticed he could fly, was amazing. So it looked like the whole audience in the theater wasn't clapping. They were just like, oh, it was so amazing because it was just so cool to see him fly for the first time. And all the characters in the movie see him that he could actually fly, that he's a flying elephant. Some of the other cool things that I saw, let's go back to the casting. So Nico Parker, who is Thandie Newton's daughter, who is one of the main characters, is the one who really, really believes in Dumbo. So they have a very close connection. And then you have Colin Farrell, who plays their father, who is Holt, and Eva Green, who plays Colette. So Colette is another performer in the circus. Without giving too much around, you think she may be evil. You don't quite know who she is at the beginning. So you can't catch her character what she is. And then, but I'm not going to tell you how she ends up. So you got to go watch the movie. I very, very much recommend it. And then you got Danny DeVito. I'm not really a Danny DeVito fan, but he played a great character in this. He played Medici, who basically is he owns the Medici circus. He's the one who owned Dumbo, basically. and some of the sad stuff that happens to his mom. I'm not going to tell you the ending because it is a totally different ending than the animated version. So I can't give away too much, of course. Would I see it again? Yes, I would definitely see it again. Unfortunately, Gina didn't get to see it this time ago around. I got to see it with the kids and other family friends. I would definitely go see it again. I have no reason not to say this movie wasn't great. Now, critics say the only thing that was wrong with the movie, to me, that I read, was that it didn't follow the original plot. And I have no problem with that. I like seeing new versions, different aspects, different perspectives of different characters. I think it was beautifully done. I think the color, okay, the only thing I have a downfall that it started off really slow. Like, it's almost a 2-hour movie. The first half an hour was kind of boring. I will say that. It was kind of boring. They didn't build the characters quick enough, and that would be the only bad tick mark I get from it. But the coloring, the vibrant colors of it, the CGI was done well, the music was done well, the casting was done perfect. I don't think they could have picked any better actors to play these parts. I really couldn't see anybody do it. Let's see. So, are there any surprise after the credits? I didn't see any. I didn't stay long enough because we had so many kids with us. We didn't stay that long. I would have stayed and watched them, but that's a good question. So I know how anybody who's like a Marvel fan / Disney knows to always stay during the credits because there's going to be some kind of sequel, prequel to show what's coming up next. But that is a good question. So no, I didn't see it. So I hate to not be able to answer that question for you. But I just want to say thanks for tuning in. I would say I give a score out of 10, a very high 7 for Dumbo. I know I've been raving about how good it is, but it's not the most perfect movie. But to me, it's done well. It's done well in the Tim Burton fashion, where it has some darkness to it. I won't give away that too, but some of I think it's called Danger Island, very dark and mystique. And then some of the characters have some mystique to it. You don't know if they're evil right away, but then they're like, oh, that's the evil guy, that's the bad guy. Because I had a friend of the family's kid ask me, do you think that's the bad guy? And I go, I think so. But that's all I'm going to say about this. This movie is awesome. 7 out of 10. High 7, Gina, high 7. Because it's it's a pretty good movie, but I can't say it's the best. Just because it started off slow. There's some things that I do wish they had in the original movie, but again, I don't want to give some things away because it's such a new movie. I want you to go see it for yourself, and maybe we can have another show and hear what your thoughts are about on it. To get a 10, Gina, I think some of just stick to the original movie just a little bit more. There's some things that were missing, some of the original music. There was some controversial stuff in the old movies with the crows. Maybe that's the reason why they didn't put it in there, because we live in such a new age, and that's a good thing. They're being more politically correct with some of the music they had in there in the beginning one. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for tuning in. But that's my review. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.